guys? Is Nokken with Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Pretty good. How about you, man?
Doing really good. We got some good golf next week, and we got Sunday coming up. We're recording this Sunday morning, so we don't know who the winner is. Who did you pick for the winner?
Yeah, so I still have Sam Burns, even though he had that little bit of a disappointing end to that Saturday round. Obviously, picked him to win last week. He was picked before the tournament to win, so got to ride that hot hand. Definitely
Mhm.
think he has the game necessary to take down that course.
Yeah, and I had Matthew Wolff. He's been doing really good.
Yeah, he was your
Um,
pick before the week, right?
yeah, I picked him before, so
Yeah. All right, I
got
see you.
luck.
You're over there picking the hot hand. I like that. Here in this video, what we're gonna do, we're gonna quickly preview the field for this week here at the CJ Cup. We're also gonna talk about the Summit Club, which is a new golf course we've never seen before. Here for the CJ Cup, so we're gonna try and break it down the best of our ability, and also gonna talk about our skill set for success. So the type of golfers that we expect to succeed here. And we're gonna go over this in our podcast format. So if you want to go ahead and let them know about your Instagram page, that would be awesome. Before we hop into this.
So we well, good news. We just reached 300 followers.
Nice, dude. Congrats. I didn't know that.
Thank you. We're keeping growing, so that's good, and we just keep bringing out content. So yeah,
And
that's
you made a new page about the Minnesota Wild. Is that right?
yeah. So I'm a Wild fan, so I wanted to add a Wild page because it'll help out with my Nokkensportsnews and
Mm-hmm.
keep me in the sport. So
Word. I
yeah,
like that, man. We're gonna go ahead and put both of the Instagram pages down in the channel. So again, highly recommend that you guys check that out. So we'll start off our preview here with a little bit of a look at the field. If you want to introduce that to them, Isaiah.
yeah. So the total purse is 9.75 million US
Woo!
dollars, which is
That's
a
a
lot.
lot of buckaroos there.
Yeah. And when Jason Kokrak won, he got like 1.7 million. So
That'd be
if
nice.
if you even if you do bad this week, you'll get a lot of money. So it is 500 FedEx Cup points. A lot of big players are coming into this tournament. We didn't see a lot before, but we got a lot this week. 78 players in the top 60 players from the final FedEx Cup points, and there's no cup or no cut. So
No cut. So
that'll
we're
be
gonna see all these guys through all 4 rounds. Is that right?
yep.
Okay, I like it. So no one's somebody goes out, shoots 7 over the first day. They're not completely dead at the very least. So we'll hop into a little bit of a course breakdown here. So again, this is the CJ Cup. Last year, this was played at Shadow Creek, which is also another Las Vegas golf course. We are expecting them to go back to Shadow Creek this year. They had a little bit of mix up with the scheduling. We're not able to get that booked. So we are over here at the Summit Club. This is the first time that we've seen this course. Last year it was the first time that we saw Shadow Creek. So a little bit of parallels there. Like you said before, Jason Kokrak was the winner last year. Ended up winning at a huge score of nearly 20 under par. And this golf course is Summit Club. Again, it's also in Las Vegas. It opened just 4 years ago, and it's already among the best 100 courses in all of the USA. I've played a couple courses that are right next door to the Summit Club, most notably Bears Best, literally directly adjacent to the Summit Club. So I'm very familiar with the terrain there. Obviously, it's right next to the mountain range there, over there in Summerlin. You deal with a lot of elevation changes. You also deal with quite a few hard pan soil. I mean, you hit the ball and the ball trampolines off of it, that kind of thing. So even though it's almost 7,500 yards this week in terms of the course yardage, we'll get to that here in a second in detail. It's not going to play that long. This is a golf course where you're going to get a ton of downhill lies, especially off of the tee. And it plays a lot easier than it looks on paper. So we'll talk about a few of the things that I noticed about courses adjacent to it. So also played TPC Las Vegas, I played TPC Summerlin and Bears Best, and all of them, again, very hard pan soil, everything trampolines off of it. You have tons of elevation changes no matter what. You have sand that's extremely whiskey. So in the sand, it's very light sand. It's very easy to hit out of. So if you hit it in some of the fairway bunkers, it's not very penal at all. And if you end up hitting it in greenside bunkers, it's really easy to apply spin to the golf ball. So it's really what you're looking for. Sometimes when you're in a little bit more of a wet climate, the sand tends to firm up, tends to be a little bit harder to hit out of, but don't really have to worry about that here at the Summit Club. This is a Tom Fazio design. So also the same designer that designed Shadow Creek. So a little bit interesting that They couldn't go to the one, Fazio design in Shadow Creek, so they decided to go to the other one in the area, Summit Club. But he's a great designer. This golf course is a little bit more of a parkland style course than a desert course. So last week at Summerlin, we had desert come into play quite a bit. There were quite a few carries that you had to take over the desert. There were little alcoves of desert that you could hit into, and it added quite a bit of trouble off the tee. We're not going to see that at all here at the Summit Club. This is a parkland style golf course in the middle of the desert. It is
Yeah.
quite strange, to be quite honest with you. So kind of like Shadow Creek, if you take an overhead view of this golf course, it almost makes no sense. You take a look at it, everything's so green, everything's so lush. There's massive, pastures, that kind of thing. And then immediately where the trees stop, it turns into barren wasteland desert. And it looks like there couldn't be a blade of grass growing there. It's quite incredible, to be honest with you. It's beautiful. Obviously, it's a little bit it can distract you a little bit when you're off the tee just because it's so beautiful, but at the same time, it's going to be an extremely easy golf course because it's a parkland style and you're not going to have to worry about this desert. These guys are going to go out there, they're going to take driver on every single hole and they're going to bomb away. So I'm expecting this golf course to play extremely easy. We're going to get into some of the metrics here to talk about why it's going to play as easy as it is. But again, not much trouble off the tee. You're going to be hitting the ball a lot farther than you're used to because of the soil there, because of the elevation. And even though there are some tricky greens here, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We do have bent grass greens that are extremely sloped. I think the players are going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, and I'd like to mention too, like you said, there's a lot of nice houses on this course.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy, like
They're like, I think
millions of
the
dollars.
average is like 30 million, something like that. And every single one of them is like up in the mountains. Like they're not on the same level as the golf course.
Yeah.
Course is obviously kind of flat. It's like at the bottom of the hills. But yeah, they're up there and they're insane. I'm sure there's still a couple of them on the telecast, but
Yeah.
it'll definitely make you a little jealous.
hmm But let's get into the numbers here. So it's a par 72. Yardage is 7,422 yards. Probably going to play closer to 7,500 this week. Average green size 6,200 feet. Large for a tour event, have plenty of slope through as per usual with Fazio design. Bunkering right about tour average. And then the elevation effect, same with the TPC Summerlin 6 to 10 yard boost, which we did talk about last podcast together, which did make a difference, I think. What do you think?
Oh, I definitely think so. If we take a look at that leaderboard, there's quite a few guys at the top that aren't bombers. They're people that are a
Yeah.
little bit more accurate. I think it also has to do with that desert effect. Like there's just so much desert in play that if you're spraying it, good luck. Um, so definitely agree with you there. Have you seen Matthew Wolff, some of his drives this week? He had like a 367
Yeah.
yard drive yesterday. I was just kind of
Crazy.
mind blown. And it didn't even roll out. It like hit the ground and stayed
Mhm.
there. And he flew at 360 something. I was like, what in the world, dude?
Crazy.
He's an absolute freak.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now is we'll talk about some of the players that we're going to be targeting this week. So first of all, in terms of our skill set, and then we're going to wrap it up with some of our players to look out for. So first of all, with some of the key stats we'll be looking at, it's not like a typical week here for my analysis where I try to go by the numbers just because we have no numbers for this golf course. I mean, this is truly the first time it's been played in competition. Again, the course is only 4 years old. This is also a golf course that's extremely and I mean it's extremely exclusive. I mean, there's 40, $50 million houses on this golf course. It's over a $200,000 initiation fee just to try and be a member at this golf course. And again, that's not even counting the yearly fees that are over $100,000 as well. So essentially no one's played this golf course, right? At least nobody that works in the golf industry in terms of media. So it's going to be a little bit of speculation here. For our number 3 key stat though this week, we have driving distance. So because the fairways are so wide, because this is a little bit more of a parkland style without the trees, it's going to be extremely easy off the tee. So for me, accuracy is not going to be something I'm prioritizing this week just because everybody's going to be hitting fairways. So I'm taking a look at driving distance. Obviously, the closer you are to the hole, the less club you're going to have to take into them, the more spin you're going to be able to apply to your golf shots. And if this is going to be a birdie fest, that is going to be a massive advantage. So that's why it's the number 3 thing I'm looking at. Number 2 key stat I'm looking at is shots gained putting on bent grass. So like you mentioned before, Isaiah, there are some sloped bent grass greens here. It's kind of the staple of a Tom Fazio design. Somebody who design some of the hardest, some of the trickiest greens in the world. So for me, that's definitely something I'm taking a look at here. Anytime we have a birdie fest, you need guys that can drop some putts as well. And our number one key stat is pretty much the key stat that we're going to rely on week in and week out here on the channel. That is shots gained approach. So anytime we go to a new venue, we always want to rely on what we know works. And week in and week out, by far the most important statistic. It doesn't matter what tour you're on, it doesn't matter what level of golf you're on, going to be the approach play. It's going to be stuffing the ball close, giving yourself birdie opportunities. So that's why it's there at number one. So in terms of winning score projection, what do you have for that, Isaiah? Because I'm currently thinking it's in that 18 to 22 under range, something like that. Pretty similar to what we're seeing at TPC Summerlin, maybe a little bit harder. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, I have 20 under. That's what Jason Kokrak got. I think that's just you have a good range there. Anything in there will probably be the champion, but I'm gonna go with 20 under.
Cool. I'm definitely in lockstep with you there. I mean, obviously, we don't know a ton about the course, but from the aerial views, I think that's pretty safe to assume. Let's talk about a few players that we're looking out for this week. So we have the field presented to us. It's not final, so some of the alternates may end up getting into the field if anybody withdraws. But for me, somebody we know is going to be teeing it up is Xander Schauffele, and I absolutely love him at this type of venue, a place where off the tee you can gain a lot of leverage with your distance. He's also somebody who gets it done with the putter and the approach play. So kind of checks all three boxes for me in terms of those key stats. Obviously, top 10 player in the world. Is going to be a top 5 player in this field, and definitely somebody I'll be targeting in terms of DFS. Who do you have this week as well, man?
I have Tyrell Hatton.
Okay.
He was tied for third last year, so I really liked how he played, and I think when you're used to the course and you score pretty low, you tend to do better each year. So I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
Who's your next pick?
I have JT, so kind of continuing with the whole irons trend. Obviously, Trohan, also a really good iron player. Anytime we're at a new place, I just like to play the guys that stuff it close because that gets it done pretty much no matter where you are. So yeah, I like Trohan. I also have JT. Who do you have as your second pick?
Harris English.
Okay. So Harris English, he was the Ryder Cupper. He obviously
Yeah.
coming in with hot form. Why do you like him this week?
I'm kind of basing it off of last year, but he shot 10 under, and like I said in the last podcast, that experience from the Ryder Cup I think will really help playing with great guys and not trying new things, but being with very good players in the tournament. So that's why I have those two.
I think that's an excellent point. It's almost like leveling up, right? Like he's been around them all week. He was interacting with them. Harris English probably feels like one of the best players in the world now. He might not have before. I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but I'm assuming because of Harris English's struggles in the past, where he was, hardly keeping his tour card and things, that he probably deals with a little bit of confidence issues on the golf course. So for him to have that kind of week to be around those guys, I think, like you said, man, that's a massive factor for this golf tournament. So that's all we're going to have here for this preview, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching as always. Just want to remind you guys about our social media platforms here. Obviously, on the YouTube channel, you guys can see this video here. So you've made it to the YouTube channel. We also have a Instagram page. So I'm going to put that down in the description for you. On there, I post all my previews. I post little commercials, that kind of thing for my videos. So if you're looking for a way to get notified when I upload, that's a good way to check that out. And Isaiah, let's go ahead and hear about your social media.
Yeah, so we talked about it earlier, Nokkensportsnews, and then Minnesota Wild coverage. Basically news updates every day. With the Nokkensportsnews, it's a lot of cool facts and stuff. So make sure you guys follow and check in. So yeah, that's all.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for coming on. Yeah, we had a great time. So thanks for coming on, guys, and we'll see you later. Enjoy the end of the tournament here for the Shriners.
Yeah, good luck, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.